Welcome to the Pro 1 field at Tulsa Tough's Blue Dome Criterium, the first night of 3 racing. I'm joined by Terun Elite's Zackery Weimer. What's up, Zach?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Good to have you here. So can you give us people can see the course map in the corner, but a quick overview of what to expect on this course?
Yeah, so we've got an 8-corner crit pretty close to downtown Tulsa, and it is a fast one. We've got Legion, Best Buddies, Miami Blazers, all the big pro teams in American crit racing here.
Yeah, super fast. This course, also the constant turns, means that there's never really a moment where you can take a breath, and kind of like the field just can never let up, right? Because of those turns.
Right, you're pretty much going down one little straight and just setting up for the next corner immediately.
And since they go left to right in some cases too, then it makes it even more complex. Like you're either moving forward or you're moving backward. There's not a whole lot of sitting still.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's important to kind of suss out the line choices you can make here, because you might be inside on one corner and setting up for the outside immediately after that.
Yep. Yeah, astute observation. So where were you lined up? Because it looks like a big field and it looks like a long tail out in front of you. Were you kind of toward the back of the field?
Yeah, I was pretty close to the back. I think on this night we had close to 170 riders, so the field was massive.
Wow.
But yeah, it's kind of a choice of, do you want to warm up and get to the line a little bit later, but maybe have those legs going strong, or line up a little bit earlier, but maybe start a bit cooler.
Yeah, good key takeaway there. You have to make that balance. You have to anticipate, because here at this race, people line up very early for this one because of the constant turning nature. It makes it really difficult to move up. So people want to start at the front because that makes their race easier. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. It can take quite a long time to move up about 170 people. So if you can get the advantage of starting towards the front, that'll save you a lot of time and energy.
And this isn't just 170 normal riders. These are the best Criterium racers in the country.
Right.
Yeah, so it's definitely a tough one. Now, I'm already noticing your slow points are like 27, 28 miles an hour. Thinking of a lot of and by no means is NorCal racing easy, but still thinking of a lot of the races that we would race in the NorCal region, 27 isn't slow. That's when it's pretty darn quick to, not the fastest, but this is a really fast start. That's the point I'm getting at here. Did it feel fast, or did the adrenaline kind of mask that for you?
I think the adrenaline masked it mostly. Like you said, it's definitely a lot faster than we'll see in a local race. The depth of this field is just much, much deeper. You know, guys on a team might be one of the top racers locally, and then they're all coming together for a race like this. So everyone's definitely fast and able to keep the pace high.
And even though there's a big field, you're still in situations where you're having to put out, right there, you're putting out over 700 watts out of those turns and accelerating. So it's not like you're just getting a free ride in the draft. This is fast and you have to work for it just to hold your position.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are certainly times where you're going to have to put out a little more power just to be able to keep moving forwards, because with all these corners, if you're caught at the back, there's going to be some inevitable accordion effects that'll have you slowing into corners and then sprinting out.
Absolutely. So this is a good takeaway. Again, if it's a big race in a field that's bigger, deeper with talent, that sort of thing, you can expect the race to start harder. And with the adrenaline, sometimes that can catch you off guard and it can put you into a spot where you're just suffering halfway through the race when you typically wouldn't expect that.
Yeah, definitely. And it might not even be something that catches up until halfway, 3/4 through the race, because right now, with everyone on the sidelines cheering and you're starting at the front of this big race, you don't really feel it too much.
So we're about 25 minutes into the race. I see a national champion around you. You've been moving your way up through the field. What's your strategy been? Because, geez, on a course with this many turns, that can be really difficult to move up. You can kind of gain a spot and lose two just from putting your effort in wrong. So what was your strategy and how are you moving up?
Yeah, definitely. So starting at the back, I really had nowhere to go except forward. So I tried to make up a handful of positions each lap. Especially with this many people, if you can even pass just 1 or 2 people per lap, you're really passing 5, maybe 6, because you can see we're taking these corners about 3 wide. So getting your bars in front of one rider will essentially help you move forward several places. So I'm not trying to do it all at once here. This has taken, you can see, a good 25 minutes into this race to get maybe halfway up. but it's just a matter of chipping away one rider at a time.
And this is a different perspective than when you're typically racing. You all are racing to monitor the front of the field. And in this case, we're talking about such a big field that you're just trying to work your way through it. Who cares if breakaways are going at the front? You're not even paying attention to that right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. At this point, I can't even see what's going on at the front. It's not necessarily my job in this race to be monitoring. That's probably more up to the bigger teams, but it's certainly not ideal if a break does wind up going and all those big teams are represented. You're a little bit too far back to really know what's going on.
And this is, and what is your goal for this race?
So my goal here, this race paid about 25 deep, and my goal was to finish in the money. So I wanted to be up in that top 25, maybe make a little burrito cash here. But yeah, that was what I was trying to do, just chip away. I know where I personally stand when comparing myself against the guys on Legion, teams like that. And it's going to be very tough for me to beat them, but to be up at the front and riding with them and competing for that top quarter or so of the field is where I'd like to see myself finishing.
So we're nearly 55 minutes in, and we just saw, as you went underneath there, 11 laps to go on the lap counter. What changes in these sort of races when we see that sort of lap count emerge? Because at a local race, at 11 laps probably won't change much. Did the race change around this time?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been fast this entire time, but 10, 11 laps to go, that's when things really start to pick up. So all these big teams here, that's when they're going to focus a lot more on taking control of the front. They don't necessarily want attacks going anymore. So that's when leadouts are going to start getting organized, and the speed is just going to start inching faster and faster as we get closer to the finish.
You can see that now. You're going into turns at 29 miles an hour that before you were going in at 27, 26. It's just fast. The speed's just constantly high.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's only going to get faster as we make our way to the finish here.
So what were you thinking at this point? You've been, burning matches kind of strategically, working your way through the field. Are you able to respond to this, or what's your strategy?
Yeah, so at this point, I'm still feeling pretty good. And I know when the lap counter comes on, that's really when it's time to focus on making sure you're in good position, because as we get down to 5 laps to go, 4, 3, it's just going to be almost impossible to move up without doing a full-on effort just to maybe get 1-2 wheels forwards. So I know in these final 10 laps here, this is where I'm really going to have to focus if I want to finish in the top 25, to get into the top 25 first and then focus on holding that position into the finish.
So you're breaking the race down into these like steps. That's really smart. A good takeaway to just say, by this point, I want to be here. By this point, I want to be here. Not putting undue pressure on yourself, giving yourself plenty of time. But I can see the race is changing dramatically. Like, it's way more nervous. You have riders all over the place, filling up those lines. You're going into that turn at 31 miles an hour this time, high speed. It's feeling chaotic. It's foreshadowing for what we're going to cover here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Because guess what? If I want to finish in the top 25, there's 100 other guys who also want to finish in the top 25. And we've got Legion and Best Buddies duking it out at the front, and everyone's going to be trying to get onto the tail end of those leadouts.
And that straightaway is extremely important. It's always a spot where chaos happens in this race. And let's fast forward to the chaos. So we're on the last lap, coming down to that spot where we were talking about how you make up those positions, typically down in the gutter, down to riders left through here. There are other riders in that spot now too, using the same line. But let's talk about this. You're going to crash. Spoiler alert, it's coming up. And it's coming up in this straightaway where a lot of crashes happen. If you look at the map, you've had a bunch of turns back to back to back, and then finally a straightaway. So pent-up riders want to move to the left and pass, like you can see. Jeez. Let's rewind it and figure out what was going on. So playing this through in slow motion, like I said, riders that are pent up and they want to move forward, they go to the left and they move forward, and then they want to cut in for the turn. Riders on the other side, they want to ease up, and it causes this friction where riders collide. And as you can see, that then caused a butterfly effect that rippled into you, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I was one of those riders who had the chance to move up, and I had moved up a bunch at that spot at other points in the race. So doing the same thing on this lap. I was just trying to carry my momentum and stay in that front pocket where I wanted to be.
And in this case, did you see and hear the crash? It's tough to tell with the GoPro footage. You can see people are coming together right there and the crash is already happening.
Yeah, I could definitely see that the crash was happening. I could hear it too. It all happened very quickly, and I was kind of hoping I could just hold my line, go straight through, and not get caught up here. But you can see that's not the case. One guy goes down, and it causes the rider in front of me to hit the brakes and turn, and that caused my front wheel to get caught up in his rear.
But this has been good learnings. So some takeaways looking back at this race. Number one, you had to make that decision between showing up early and missing your warm-up or warming up, and you chose to warm up, and that decision needs to be individual based on everyone's needs. Then you chose to just pick off a couple riders per lap, and that was like your goal, just 2 at a time, just working your way through rather than putting the pressure to pass everybody all at once. And then once the race got really fast, you just wanted to make sure that you would be in position toward the end of the race. So super good goals. And then in the crash, this one's tricky. This is just bike racing. That's kind of how it goes. You could have avoided it, but you may have ended up causing other people to crash too. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes things just don't go to plan.
No doubt. Well, Zach, thank you. Your sacrifices are gain. We've learned from it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. If you want to get faster, head over to TrainerRoad.com. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can share these videos with your cycling friends. We'll talk to you all next time.